Listen, let me ask you a question, and I really want you to consider this, okay? What if life is the game and the wealthy version of you already knows how to win? Because the distractions, they're everywhere, but so are the clues and the breadcrumbs. And your job is to recognize which ones actually move you forward towards the life that you truly, truly desire. Now, let's talk about some of these breadcrumbs and some of these clues, okay? You keep getting pulled towards a life that you have never lived. A certain lifestyle, it just feels very, very familiar when you think about it. Financial freedom, it feels personal to you and not just something that's in your imagination. And you can't completely let the vision go. No matter how hard you try, it just keeps on popping up in your mind, okay? Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. A completely random idea, it just keeps surviving every distraction. Months can go past and this idea, it just keeps on returning. And the other ideas that you may have had, they disappear. But this one actual idea, it just stays in your mind. You keep imagining what it could be, what it's going to be like when you're actually financially free. Okay. Now, another breadcrumb, another clue, you accidentally discover information that you weren't even searching for. This can come from a random conversation. It teaches you something very valuable. A video, it answers a question that you haven't even asked yet. And you may come across one piece of information that sends you down a whole new path. And trust me, believe me, that path is leading towards your destiny. Okay. Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. You keep being shown what you don't want. Watching someone else live exhausted. Seeing what financial dependence looks like. Realizing you refuse to repeat that life over and over again. Sometimes the breadcrumbs and the clues is just the contrast. Okay. Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. A setback. It unexpectedly teaches you something about money, something about wealth. Losing money, it changes how you manage money. A bad decision, it exposes a weakness. Financial pressure, it forces you to learn something new, okay? It's like it just teaches you something about money. Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. You keep imagining yourself wealthy during ordinary moments. Driving to work, standing in a shower or at the grocery store, something like that. Sitting alone at night. The vision, it just interrupts your regular life, seeing yourself wealthy in your mind. Just imagining what it's going to be like when you finally win that lottery, okay? Standing at the lottery office, cashing in your winning lottery ticket, okay? Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. Someone casually introduces you to something that becomes important later, okay? A business model, a person, an investment concept. At the time, it seemed insignificant, but now it's like it has become something that is ready to go into this next chapter that you're about to step into, okay? Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. You suddenly become obsessed with learning one specific thing, building wealth, starting something yourself, or understanding how money actually works. And nobody convinced you to do this. It's like it's just coming naturally. You're finding out how to build long-term wealth, things like that. It's like you're just learning about money. And as you do this, trust me, you are changing your relationship with money. Okay, now let's talk about another breadcrumb, another clue. You keep finding evidence that your current ceiling isn't real. Someone from your background succeeds, or someone starts later and then you win later, okay? Or you realize that ordinary people have built extraordinary lives. You see how people have built things from the ground up and became wealthy. And this definitely is very exciting to you, okay? Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. Your biggest distraction appears whenever you get serious, okay? The drama, it erupts. Something demands your attention all of a sudden. Comfort, it suddenly becomes irresistible. Almost like the game knows you're focusing right now. And it's like a test to see if you're going to stay focused on what you truly, truly desire, or are you going to fall into that distraction, okay? Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. You have conversations with yourself that feel different from just ordinary thinking, right? I know this has been happening to you. You ask yourself what the wealthy you would do, okay? You're asking questions like that. And answers, it's like they immediately come into your mind. You begin making decisions from that perspective. It's like when you're talking to yourself, you're talking to the future wealthy version of yourself, okay? And you can think of that voice as your imagined future wealthy version of yourself giving you advice today, right now, that's leading you in the right direction. That's how you have to look at it, okay? Because that's actually what's happening, okay? Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. Something that you once wanted is suddenly looks too small, okay? Your definition of success, it expands. A goal, it stopped exciting you. And you realize you were asking for less than you actually wanted. Because I'm telling you, you are always going to be meant for expansion. You have to step into that future wealthy version of yourself every single day. Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. You start noticing resources that you previously walked past, skills that you can monetize, connections that you never even considered, opportunities that were hiding inside of things that you already know. The same world, it's just different eyes. You're starting to notice things differently because your perspective is changing. You're becoming that future wealthy version of yourself, okay? Now, more clues, more breadcrumbs that you're probably experiencing right now. You become uncomfortable with wasting entire days. Mindless scrolling, it just bothers you. Procrastination feels expensive. You start thinking about what your time is worth. Right now, you're more focused on what you could be doing with this valuable time. You're realizing that time is your first currency, okay? Now, another clue, another breadcrumb. One rejection sends you somewhere better. The job says no, the deal falls apart, the original plans, they fail. Then the detour exposes a completely different possibility. And you're realizing that, man, when I got rejected from something, I was actually being redirected somewhere else, because that's what happened, okay? I'm telling you, anytime something like that happens in your life, it's like you're being guided towards a better and bigger opportunity, okay? Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. You become fascinated by people who created their own freedom. Financial freedom, okay? Entrepreneurs, it's like it just catches your attention all the time. Investors, they make you curious about, man, what are they doing right now? People who escaped ordinary paths make you wonder what's possible. And you're thinking to yourself, if they can do it, I know I can do it. And you're constantly looking for possibilities all the time, aren't you? Okay? Now, another clue, another breadcrumb. Your old definition of rich, it starts changing, okay? Time becomes wealth. Ownership becomes wealth. Choices become wealth. You're no longer impressed by money without freedom. You want the financial freedom attached to it, and you can't stop thinking about it, okay? Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. You start recognizing expensive patterns in your own self, okay? Impulse decisions, fear-based choices, or fear-based thinking, staying somewhere because it's familiar. Right now, you have been just feeling like stepping out of something that feels familiar to you. This is stepping out of your comfort zone. You begin seeing what the old version of you was costing the future version of you, okay? You're starting to notice this. You're starting to become more aware of this. Now, let's talk about another breadcrumb, another clue that you're probably experiencing right now. The same opportunity, it appears through different doors, okay? Different people, they mention it. Different situations point towards it, okay? You keep arriving back to the same possibility over and over again. The repetition makes you finally investigate because it just keeps on popping in your life. And these are actually synchronicities. These are actually the universe showing you, explore this possibility again. I know you walked past this before. I know you say you didn't want it, but check it out this time. Because I'm telling you, once you start to notice things through different eyes, you start to see how things are possible in different ways, okay? Now let's talk about another clue, another breadcrumb. You suddenly feel the urge to prepare before anything has even happened in your life, okay? organizing your finances, learning new skills, cleaning up unfinished business. You don't have the opportunity yet, but you're becoming ready for the opportunity when it comes. And when you do this energetically, you are broadcasting a signal of readiness to the universe. Okay. Now let's talk about another breadcrumb, another clue that you're probably experiencing right now. You start asking better questions about money, okay? How can I own instead of paying for it? How can this create income or financial freedom? How do people actually build long-term wealth? You're starting to ask questions like that to yourself. And asking those questions, you're actually asking those questions to your future wealthy version of yourself. See, the game changes when your questions change. Okay, you have to know this. Now let's talk about another breadcrumb, another clue that you're probably experiencing right now. Okay, you notice one decision keeps separating your two possible futures. Okay, stay or move, start or wait, spend or build long-term wealth. You can almost picture where each road actually will eventually end. It's like you can see those two destinations, and every day you're making that choice to go towards that destination where you are financially free. Okay, now another breadcrumb, another clue. Your failures start leaving instructions behind, right? The person that can't be trusted, the strategy that didn't work, the habit that keeps costing you. It's like you're starting to notice this information. You're starting to notice these instructions. You stop seeing failure as an ending and you start seeing it as information that you have gotten from it, a learning experience. A lot of people, when they fail, it's like it just makes them give up. And they're scared to start something new because they keep on thinking about the time that they failed. And you're more or less like, I remember when this happened. So I'm going to do this again, but I'm not going to make these small little mistakes. I'm going to make some adjustments. That's where your mindset is right now, because you are starting to become that future wealthy version of yourself that's about to happen in your life. Okay. Now let's talk about another breadcrumb, another clue, a skill you've always treated casually. Suddenly it looks very, very valuable to you. Something comes naturally to you. People repeatedly ask, you know, have you done this yet? Have you done this idea yet? Have you tried it yet? It's like you realize somebody would pay for the results when you actually get this done. It could become something that could become just wealth in your life. The breadcrumb may have always been sitting inside you this entire time. You just didn't notice it, okay? Now let's talk about another breadcrumb, another clue. You begin meeting people who think beyond survival mode, people who just live beyond just being in survival all the time, okay? They discuss ownership. They talk about possibilities. They talk about big lottery wins. Their conversation, it just stretches your thinking, okay? Their conversations is very, very deep, and that's what you crave, just deepness, okay? Your environment, it's like it starts showing you another level, that another level exists, okay? It's like reality is starting to mirror just the lifestyle that you're about to live, all right? Now, another breadcrumb, another clue, certain dreams that you're having, they leave you thinking differently after you wake up, okay? Wealth, it appears symbolically in your dream. You experience a completely different life in your dream. The emotions, it's like they just stay with you all day, maybe even weeks, maybe even a year later, you're still thinking about that dream. Whether spiritual or psychological, the dream, it gives you something to examine, something to think about. You're like, why did I see myself winning the lottery? Why was I at the lottery office cashing in that winning lottery ticket? Why do I live that luxurious lifestyle? You're asking questions like that, okay? And I'm telling you, when you ask these questions, this is another form of ask-formations. Now it's like your subconscious mind has to come up with the answer, all right? Now let's talk about another breadcrumb, another clue. You suddenly realize how many decisions were made from fear. Staying because it was too risky. Saying no because failure was possible. Choosing security automatically. Now you're starting to step out of your comfort zone. Now it's like you can see the pattern when you think about your past, okay? Now let's talk about another clue. another breadcrumb. Something you've been avoiding starts looking like an obvious next move, like an obvious next chapter to you, okay? Making the call, starting that project right now, learning the skill, okay? These are the things that you're thinking about right now. You've known this for a while. You just know that you weren't ready for it at the time, and now you know you're ready right now. Okay. Now, another clue, another breadcrumb. You start noticing what wealthy people do differently instead of what they own. Okay. You're starting to notice this. You're noticing how they use their time, what they delegate with. Okay. You're noticing what they prioritize. It's like the clue shifts from possession to behavior. Okay. You're not looking at what they own. You're looking at how they behave right now. Okay. Now, another clue, another breadcrumb. A financial problem forces you to become very, very resourceful, okay? You create another income source. You learn something about yourself. You discover an ability to pressure, okay? And it forces you to do this. All right. It's like adversity. It becomes information when you go through this. OK. And I'm telling you, adversity is a powerful sign that something's about to happen in your life. You just have to overcome that adversity. OK. Everyone goes through it on their road to success, on their road to becoming wealthy. OK. That's why you're going through it right now. All right. Now, another clue, another breadcrumb. You get tired of hearing yourself make the same excuses over and over again. And these are excuses like, I don't have the time. I'll do it later. I'm waiting for the right moment. It's like one day the excuses, they stop sounding convincing to you, and you're starting to notice this. Every time you make an excuse, you're like, man, that was just an excuse. I'm ready to do this right now. It's like you have an urge to do this right now. You have to follow that urge, because that is the future wealthy version of yourself, leaving you a clue, leaving you a breadcrumb, giving you a nudge. All right. You just have to listen. All right. Now, another clue, another breadcrumb. You begin seeing how distractions are designed to steal your most valuable resource. And that most valuable resource is your attention, is your focus. OK. And this is endless scrolling, other people's drama, constant entertainment all the time. The game gets easier when you realize your attention is the main part of your currency. OK. Now, another clue, another breadcrumb. OK. A person you meet briefly changes the direction of your thinking, okay? One sentence, it stays with you. Their story, it challenges your assumptions. You never see them again, okay? But that information, that person, it's like they just stay in your mind. Some breadcrumbs are people, okay? Some clues are people. It's like you feel, another breadcrumb, okay? You feel unusually excited by something that makes no sense to everyone else, okay? This can be a strange business idea. This can be a creative project. It could be an unconventional path, okay? You see potential where other people see nothing. And that's the same thing with opportunities. You see an opportunity, other people don't see those opportunities. You're starting to notice this because I'm telling you, the wealthy version of yourself has a different perspective. And that is what the perspective that you're starting to adopt right now. OK, now let's talk about another clue, another breadcrumb. You begin thinking in decades instead of weekends. OK, where will this decision lead? What am I building right now? What will the future me have started today? Okay, your timeline expands every time you do this. And like I said, these are affirmations. Your subconscious mind is forced to come up with the answer, and your subconscious mind is in charge of creating your reality right now. There's like a little fire truck right here. I guess they're doing some training right here. So you might hear like a little truck backing up or something like that. I'm pretty sure you hear that, but it's not going to stop this video. Okay, now let's talk about another clue, another breadcrumb that you're probably experiencing right now. You notice the same weakness appearing at every new level: impatience, overspending, lack of consistency. You're starting to notice this right now. Different level, same obstacle. The game keeps bringing you back until you address that issue. Okay, it's going to keep coming back. It's like the universe is going to keep showing you something until you finally say, you know what, I'm going to stop this right now because this is hindering me. Okay. Now, another breadcrumb, another idea that you're probably experiencing right now. Another breadcrumb, another clue. All right. You suddenly stop waiting for everyone to know your plans. You don't want anybody to know your plans. Right now, you're building quietly. You protect unfinished ideas. You're not telling anybody about your ideas. The results that become more important than announcements, okay? Right now, it's like you just feel the need to move in silence. You want to tell people, you want to say, I'm doing this, I'm thinking about this right now, but there's a voice in your head that's saying, keep this to yourself. Don't tell anybody anything right now, okay? Now, another breadcrumb, another clue. You recognize that jealousy can contain information, okay? Someone's freedom, it bothers you. Their success, it triggers something inside you. Instead of resenting it, you ask, what desire is it revealing? What can I learn from this? You find yourself maybe having just jealousy ideas, and you may even ask yourself, why am I thinking like this right now? Okay, that's the future wealthy version of yourself speaking from an aspect and a perspective that's not jealousy. Okay, sometimes uncomfortable emotions point towards directly where you want to be. Okay, I'm telling you, these are the kind of things that happens because you are a normal human being. Jealousy and envy will be a part of your journey. Okay, and it's also going to be a test to see, are you going to overcome that? All right, now another breadcrumb, another clue. A childhood interest, it unexpectedly reconnects with your adult life purpose. Okay, creating, selling, or building something that you loved before in your life. It gets complicated suddenly. It makes sense right now. Things that didn't make sense back then when you were a child. You wanted this, you imagined this already. Okay, it's like when you were a child, you already manifested this. But now it's like it's suddenly starting to make sense in your life. Okay, now another breadcrumb, another clue. You start questioning rules nobody actually forced you to follow. Okay, what success should look like, when you're supposed to achieve it, which path that you're supposed to take to get there. Some walls, it's like they turn out to be assumptions. Okay, now I'm telling you, the wealthy version of yourself, the life that you desire to live, it's like there are breadcrumbs, there are clues everywhere. Your job is to connect those dots, connect the dots, become the future wealthy version of yourself that you're meant to be. That's why you're seeing it in your imagination right now. Okay, now another clue, another breadcrumb. You begin spotting opportunities inside of problems. Okay, it's like they complain about something repeatedly and you're starting to see the pattern inside this. Okay, a service is frustrating or something like that, or a problem, it keeps affecting many people. Instead of only seeing the inconvenience, you start seeing the demand. Okay, you're starting to see that right now. Now I'm telling you, there are going to be a lot of times where you're going to feel and see these different patterns and different, just things that's leading you towards the wealthy version of yourself. You just have to listen. You just have to continue to become the future wealthy version of yourself every single day, because that's the life that you are creating. As long as you keep your focus on this, is what you focus on is creating the life, is creating that reality. Okay, now I wanted to make this video real quick for you because I know you are experiencing some of these things that I said in this video, because you are going towards that life right now. You're following the breadcrumbs, you're following the signs, you're following the synchronicities. Okay, they're happening in your life for a reason. You're a chosen one. You're chosen to be wealthy. Okay, you just have to accept it. That's it. Now, thank you so much for tuning into Millionaire Mindset, where everything happens in divine time by divine design, but you are the divine design. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment on this video, and hype this video up. Until the next video, Millionaire Mindset signing off.